Hey everybody, this is Colleen with Shano's Country Chic and Chalk and Talk Boutique, and I just want to take a second to show you a real quick project. We purchased some 1x8s, and I have taken a piece and cut it off to fit my stencil. This is Magnolia Design Company's. This is a stencil, super duper cute. It comes in a 2-pack, this one, and it has a tiny little home stencil for you to use on other projects. And just a second, I'll grab that other one. And this really cute welcome to our porch sign with sit long, talk much, and laugh often. Boy, do we need that today, right? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and show you how easy this is to do. Now I stained this board this morning. I think that the color I used was a Mission Oak. I let it dry. It was pretty humid out, and I let it dry. So it's ready to go. And there are a lot of videos out there and a lot of ladies that like to wax their boards before they chalk them. I have not done that yet, and I so far have not had any issues. I think it's probably good advice, and you certainly could go ahead and do that. But I just want to let you know I haven't yet, and my stenciling and my projects have turned out fine. I did have some bleed through. I had painted a board white, and I hadn't done anything else with it, and the bleed through on that was a little bit heavy. So anyway, let me see if I can find a corner here. It's always, they're on here pretty good, and that's the way I want them to be, so that's a good thing. So this is just a towel that I have. You can get a fuzzy mat from Magnolia Design Company if you want to. And what we're going to do is we're going to fuzz this stencil. What that means basically is you're going to make it so it's not quite as sticky as it is, because you want to be able to pull it easily off of your project without damaging it. And the reason we do that is if you do not fuzz it and you do not kind of take some of that stick off, you could actually stretch your stencil a little bit. This is a pretty cool process. I know you've probably all heard about it. But you can reuse these stencils up to 8 to 12 times. So that makes it very affordable. And anyway, so I do this several times to make sure that I'm getting the fuzz. And if I still don't feel like I'm getting a good fuzz, believe it or not, guys, I have even used my jeans, just roll it across your jeans a little bit. Let it pick up some of the fuzz off of that. You want to make sure that your surface is pretty clean. You don't want to be picking up debris, you just want to pick up. And then you want to make sure your surface is completely wiped off, and so that there's no bumps on there from little pieces that might have come off. So I like to just eyeball my project. So I'm going to just kind of look it on here, and I'm going to give it a little room at the top, because I think I'm going to put a little bit of embellishment on this after we're done. I'm going to move it over just a smidge, and let's make sure we're on there the way we want to be. I think that looks pretty good. If I'm not quite sure, I'll go ahead and I'll measure. I just take a regular kind of rule, and I put and this looks like it's approximately 1 inch from the top there, and it looks like it's a little less than 1 inch here, so I'm going to adjust that a little bit. I want to make sure we are pretty close. We do not want to be off, do we? I mean, for the most part, I think everybody is, you know, fine with how, if it's off just a smidge, but I think for me and what I want to do, I definitely want it to be on. So that's the way I go with it. And the beauty of this is you can just readjust, you know. Now, let me see right here. As you can see, I did not stain the back of this. I didn't think that was necessary. No, I didn't do it. No. All right, so let's look at that. I'm going to press it down a little bit here. Press it down, press it down, press it down. I'm going to show you this real quick. Okay. So this is what it looks like beforehand. Okay. Everywhere that you see the clear spot, the clear area, there's this tiny little mesh in there. And then you just kind of make sure those are nice and clean. There are no bubbles in your surface. I'm going to use the almond latte on this one. I think it's a really pretty color. Take a look at that. All right. And this, I'm telling you, this goes on so quickly, you'd be surprised. All right, so I'm just going to take some of my chalk and I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to start spreading it across, just like this. Now, if you want more than one color, you're more than welcome to use more than one color on this. You could make a ombre effect. You can take different colors for different parts, like down here if you wanted to. You can make it a different color altogether, like a blue or something. I'm just going to keep this all one color this time. The trick with this stuff is that, if there is a trick, super easy to use. You just want to make sure that you don't have too big or too heavy of a coat. You want to be able to scrape it off like so, wipe it back in the jar. Don't waste it. There's no point in that. And we can just continue to use this over and over again. I have found that as you wipe it off and on the edge of your jar, it might dry on the edge of the jar. And all you have to do with that is basically just take your spatula. They send you a little spatula, and you just work it off the side of the jar right back into it. The moisture from the jar and from the paste that's already in there then goes ahead and it just becomes liquefied again for you, and away you go. So here's this. I'm just going to get the residuals off because I do not like to waste my paste. And if you leave it heavy, if you leave a spot, you very likely, let me see if I got this all covered. I don't want to miss anything either. If you miss something, and as you're pulling up and you realize you've missed something, just lay it back down real gently on top and go and grab your little paste thing and put it back on there, okay? It's not too hard to correct. Okay, so as you saw, I layered it on there, then I wiped it off kind of carefully. This is a new stencil, so it's going to be a little stickier, even though I fuzzed it, okay? Now where the grains are on your wood, you might get a little bit of a bleed or a little bit of a wow, but that's just the personality of the wood showing through. I'll be right back. I'm going to put this in a bag here. Found that if I get my stencil in water right away, that I can very easily take care of them, and I can wash the extra chalk off of there very quickly. So here you go. Look at how cute this is. Here it is. Look at that. And do you saw how quickly that is? I haven't even been 10 minutes. You know, yeah, I stained the wood this morning. That probably took about 5 minutes, but I haven't even been 10 minutes talking to you on this video, showing you how to do this. And what I'm probably going to do is I'll probably drill a couple of holes in here, make this a hanging guy, or I could just leave it and let it be a stand-up, kind of like a shelf sitter. I also have little embellishments that I like to do. You know, I like to put this type of thing on there too, and there's plenty of room for something like that, and that's pretty darn cute if you do. There you go. See, you could put a little bow on there off to the side. You could do just any kind of little embellishment. I'm going to do a shout out to my upline. Her name is Brenda Hall, Brenda Miller Hall on Facebook. And she and her husband cut out these very cute tags. And you can purchase them from her for a really reasonable amount. I wouldn't use this on this guy because it'd be too big, but you can use it on other things. You just embellish it, and away you go with it. It's so cute, and it's such an easy thing to add to. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it shows you how easy it is to do something creative, even if you thought you weren't creative. Stop by Shanno's Country Chic and send me a message if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the business and the company. Also, I have the Chalk and Talk boutique. If you want to swing by there and sign up and join, it doesn't cost anything. You aren't going to be nagged. I'm just going to show you some projects I'm doing and maybe tell you a little bit about the products that we have, and also our events coming up. And for those of you that are local and listening to this, we have an event down at Wetumpka Flea Market and Antiques for July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And our shop is Shop 31. Please swing by and say hello, and we'll be filling it up with a lot of these cute items. Okay, thank you so much for swinging in and listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.